Hey everybody, welcome back to the Dev Marketer channel. We are continuing our series today on how to build the advanced blog in CMS. We're building the website for devmarketer.io. My personal website, the website I want to share and share these tutorials with, have forums for you guys to talk and get help on these tutorials, and also the forum the place that we will have the ability for you guys to share content you find around the web. So we're building this project from start to finish. I want to show you guys every step along the way. The previous video, the one we did yesterday, was which I believe was part 4, if I'm not mistaken. Part 4 of this series, we started into the wireframe process, and that can be a headache, but it is a necessary evil. It's something that I don't necessarily look forward to doing, but it's something that we have to get done because it makes all future development with our project so much easier. Today's video, we're going to continue the process of working on the wireframe, and in particular, we're going to actually be focusing on wireframing the blog pages. So we'll be basically focusing on the blog and the video pages. They're going to be kind of the focus for today. And we're going to dive into it, and I'll show you guys, talk to you guys a little bit more about the details of what I'm talking about, which pages I'm talking about. But before we do that, I want to talk to you guys and just show you guys some examples of some great blogs that I found around the internet that we can kind of use for inspiration. So let's go ahead and dive into it. So I like to take a look at what's working in the community, what other stuff we're seeing that's working, and I want to show you guys a few blogs that are working really, really well. Originally, you can see up here that I actually had like over 10. I actually have 12 blogs that I really, really liked that I wanted to show you guys, but I realized that even if I spend 1 minute talking about what I like about each blog, that will be 12 minutes, and I don't know if you guys want to be bogged down with that because you came here to learn about the wireframe and to move on to that portion. So I'm going to blaze through just some of the highlights, and I think I'm actually going to film as a separate video going over some of the best features from some of the best designed blogs that I have found, and we will do that as a separate video that you guys can tune into if that's something that interests you. So blazing through some of the highlights that I want to talk about, one of the things that I really like for a general layout that you're going to see in a lot of these is actually this look where you have a centered container with tons of white space on either side. So this article obviously has a lot of ads, so those kind of take up the sides. But as you scroll down here, you can see there's a lot of white space on either side. Brings your eyes right to the main content, right in the center, which is something that I really, really like. I like this hard white on the hard black. The contrast makes it really nice for reading. And to me, when you're reading a blog, you want to focus on legibility. Is it easy to read? Is it easy to follow? And do the words kind of pop off on the screen? And I really like this general layout here where you've got tons of space on either side with centered content versus some blogs that have off-center content and cluttered sidebars. I like to try to keep the sidebars as cleaned up as possible. Sometimes you will have elements near the top that are on the sides, but I like to keep most of the content in the center all by itself, okay? I think Engadget's got a great design for their blog. Everything from up here, the header I think is really, really good. Shows the comments, shows the shares. Their sticky header up here has related articles, which is kind of an interesting element, and the share buttons as well. So I think that this is a really cool example of a blog done right. Okay, so I'm going to show some of these in future webs, in a future video. I also want to show you guys here another example of kind of that centered content. This is moz.com, SEO blog. Highly recommend it if you guys have some time. You can see they've got it's a basic layout. They've got this centered content. It's about 50% of the viewport width, and then everything else is centered. Just makes it for a really nice, easy, clean reading style. Really good. Okay. I really do like the Discord blog, which, by the way, if you guys have not, and obviously you're a software developer, probably you're reading this, Discord's got a really good blog. Discord is kind of like the new version of TeamSpeak. It's everyone's moving over to it. It's a well-designed TeamSpeak type application for gaming and chatting and stuff like that. Kind of think about if Slack and TeamSpeak had a baby, you would end up with Discord. So Discord is a growing startup. It's growing really fast, and their software engineering blog is incredible. So I highly recommend you read this. I'll link it down in the description. They've got tons of really great articles, everything from like here, how does Discord index billions of messages a month? And it goes in talking about how they do that from a technical standpoint, okay? And so this is something that a lot of books don't even cover this type of content, and yet they've got a lot of great stuff in here. They've obviously got their change logs mixed in here, but you'll see here they've got tons of interesting stuff scattered all throughout here. Here's how they handle billions of push requests through bursts and so forth. So it's got a lot of great information. All right, so and let's just go look at one of these articles real quick. Sorry, I got distracted by how great of a blog it is and how you need to subscribe. Okay, so as we go down here, you can see they've got the great header here. They obviously use Medium as a backbone for this. They've got the sticky share buttons, and they've got this kind of sticky call to action down below. They've got tons of great space here in between the text, making it even more legible and easy to read. I do like that they kind of pull out some of these share elements so that they're hidden, so that only when you interact with the content do you deal with them, which kind of makes it easier to work with. And one of the things I really like is that you've got these containers here. You see this a lot on Medium. The container kind of goes from here to here, right? And everything all the way down kind of falls into this container area here. But their images extend beyond the container, which is a really cool visual effect that I really personally like. I think it adds a lot of interest here. They've got kind of their text container, and they've got this extended container. You can see that the container is actually like right here. This is kind of the extended container that they've got, and the images kind of go to that extended container, which I think is really cool. All right, so I just kind of want to point that out, something you guys might find interesting. And for sure, definitely go, oh, that's a cool effect. The share even like fades out as it goes over an image. That's really interesting. They've got great code highlighting as well. Another thing that we need to consider, because we'll be sharing lots of code on this blog, okay? But anyway, very good blog, very well designed, also really good information. You guys should definitely check it out. And then the last two I want to show you are going to be from Envision and Intercom. These are two more engineering blogs that I find very interesting. This one, the main thing I wanted to focus on with Envision's blog is in this kind of parallax effect that you get. As you scroll down, you can see the title kind of zooms in, fades out, while the background image also kind of like fades out. And then your author title kind of just stays steady like that. This is a really interesting effect. I haven't really broken down how they've done it yet, but it's something that I might try to address from like a UX standpoint when we get into this portion of our website, because I think this effect is super cool. Okay, so overall, the rest of the website kind of follows the same look as some of the other ones that you've seen. So I think it's a really good blog in general, but this effect just really goes over the top. I also really think I'm going to do the drop cap, which is what you see here, where the first letter is bigger and dropped down. So this is something I think we might implement as well. But just overall, really, really well done. The last one I'm going to show you guys for today is, this is from Intercom. And when you go to Intercom, they have a couple effects I really like. So first of all, they kind of show you it's a 7-minute read up here, which is something I'm kind of a sucker for. I like that. I look at a lot of articles throughout the day. I want to know how long they are without having to scroll through them all the way. And I really like being able to see that. That's something pretty easy. I've implemented that before on other websites. I'll show you guys it's super easy how to do that. The other thing I like is that it shows your progress up here. So you've got your sticky header, which I think is cool. But as you scroll down, you'll notice it shows your progress through this line. As you scroll down through the article, it shows your progress while reading the article, which is something I do want to implement. I want to have a sticky header, I think, like this. You can still show the menu like you see here, but then it actually shows the title for the article up here instead of just the menu all the time. So this shows the title for the article. I was thinking about implementing maybe some share buttons up here, but you can see here they've got the subscribe button, which is another option as well. So overall, I think that that's a really cool effect. I really like how they did their sticky header there. I think it's really, really cool. All right, so we'll go over the rest of these articles and these great blogs in a future video to kind of give you guys an idea for what I really, really like in a blog and what some stuff that you guys can actually implement in any websites that you're building. Now, let's dive on over and actually get started in the wireframe. So I'm going to go ahead and close Chrome here just for a little bit, and we're going to open up our Adobe XD. So let's get that started. We'll open up our project from the other day. Here it is. There it is. So we did this in the last video, and now what I'm going to go through and do is actually create another artboard, and we're going to design another artboard that's going to be for a general blog page, okay? So these shouldn't take too long to put together. There's not a lot of design elements to add, so we're going to fly through these, I think, pretty quick, but you are going to see things speed up because there's not going to be much to talk about. You guys can just sit back, enjoy, and watch me wireframe. Now, before we get too started here, what I want to do is I actually want to create a new artboard. So let's go through here. We're going to click the artboard tool. I just want to show you guys this before we go into super mode, how to create an artboard. So we have our homepage artboard up here. We have one artboard on the list. We click the artboard tool, and then over on the side, you can see that it actually has all of the different artboards, kind of the presets that we want to create. In this case, we're just going to create the Web 1920. It's the same one we already have here. So we're going to click that. You can see it makes it over here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to rename this. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to say text article page. And then we'll call it desktop, just because this is going to be for the desktop, not for like mobile or something like that. Okay, once you get beyond that, you can extend the size of this as you want to go down of this artboard. You can see there's the dotted line here. I think some people got confused by this last time. This is basically the fold of your browser. So what you see here is basically one browser, an 1080 by 1920 browser width. This is like a 1080 monitor, would take up this much space. But you can scroll beyond that and you can keep extending your artboard as needed. And that's what I was doing here, is just extending it beyond the fold, okay? So that's what you'll see me doing going forward. Let's go ahead and get this designed up. All right, guys, we finished it up, and here's what we came up with. Just want to show you guys real quick. Again, this is just the text article. So as you go through, obviously we carried over the navigation from the top. You'll see the tags now across here at the top. I just want to show all the tags that are related to this article. We have the article, we've got the 7-minute read, whatever, all that stuff. We've got the subtitle up here if we've got one. And then I went ahead and followed that same pattern. So we've got 800 pixels wide is the article container. And then for the sub, the container for the actual text, I kept to 600 pixels. Okay, so having the shorter lines makes it easier to follow down to the next line. So I do like to have that compressed. But you will see here that as we go into the larger images, I stretched it outside of the container, which is cool. And then same with the pull quotes. The pull quotes go to the edge of the outer container, and then the smaller images do too. All the way down to the bottom, we've got our comment section, or our author section here with the author bio and everything like that here. Then we've got just your run-of-the-mill related articles, and then comments, nothing too crazy there. Reply to the conversation. Again, nothing too crazy. We're doing what works with the blog. Now, as we grow and build this, we might change it as we grow, but I think this is a good starting point to get us into the blog. So I think overall that turned out really good. In fact, if we go over to prototype here, we can play, and now you can kind of see what it looks like. This is at 100% basically, and this shows you what it would look like as we scroll down it. So overall, I think this turned out really good. I'm pretty happy with this. I think that this is something you would really want to do. The only thing that we don't have is sticky footers and sticky headers here, which I might play around with. But overall, I think that turned out really, really nicely. Now, next up, what I want to do is I actually want to build out probably the most important thing, which is the video. So if you guys want to stay tuned to that, make sure to watch the next video. I'm going to go into, there's probably a lot more to talk about with the video. With the videos, I'm not only going to build the video page, which is basically the blog article like this, but then I'm also going to build a series page, which is going to show multiple videos that belong to one series. So our How to Build a Blog with Laravel series, there were multiple videos there. So then we would have a page that has all the information for that series in general with all the videos. And then each video would then go to another page, kind of like this one, but optimized for video. Okay, so that's gonna be the next video, is building those two pages. But for today's video, I just kind of wanted to show you guys how this turned out. This is just the normal blog post. Again, kept it pretty simple to what you want, but I think this is a good layout for most blogs, and it's going to give me some direction as I start building on kind of what direction I want to go and what I need to focus on. So it was a really good exercise in really thinking about how I want to design things and lay them out. And even though it looks kind of plain, I really just brought together all the elements I want in my blog. Okay, so now I've got everything that I want in particular here on one page, and I don't need to focus about all the different things that are out there. I've already taken the things I like out of it and put it together into one page. So it kind of was a good exercise because it allowed me to filter through what I liked from different blogs and choose the best thing and then implement it. Okay, so this is kind of the way that I think I'm going to work with the main articles, okay, the main text articles. But we still have a lot to do with the video articles, which again will be the next video. Okay, so that's everything I got for today. Make sure to subscribe if you have not subscribed and you guys are enjoying this series. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. Otherwise, you can reach out to me on Twitter. My handle on Twitter is _JA Curtis. That is the best place to get a hold of me because I will usually answer right away. Of course, if you go down into the description, you will find that I have my email address posted as well. I keep the email address available for anybody that wants to reach out to me, so you can go ahead and ask me a question there. I'm not as good about getting back to every single email, but I do read them all. So if you want to shoot me an email, I will make sure to read it. And if I have time, I will try my best to reply. Thank you so much for staying tuned and watching all the way to the end of the video. You guys are the real MVPs, and I am going to see you guys in tomorrow's video.